What's up, everybody? Master Reactor here, and I just changed my side deck up on my deck, and the first game that I played, it really fucking worked. It's funny as shit. I put in two cards that I think are pretty slept on in this format. I don't think a lot of people choose to play. Some players choose to play it, but I'm gonna show the replay. But these are the two cards. Mind Crush. So, yeah, it was pretty clutch, I'm not gonna lie. So, we're gonna see how the first game went with the good old Mind Crushes in the board. So, let's go to the duel records. Let's see what happened here. First of all, we're gonna see all this green. It's like Christmas over here on this side. It is straight green, 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 green. This was a loss in the tournament. I have won 6 in a row, plus more, 6. There's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 in a row I have won. So let's see. I just randomly had this idea to put Mind Crush in the board. So let's see how it worked. Well, I am not a robot. Now I gotta show all the taxis. Like, what the hell? Alright, cool. Alright, so I throw scissors, he throws scissors, and I try to throw a rock because I think he might go back on scissors. But he got me there. I should have went double scissors because I went right for the rock, and he threw paper. So he gets to go first. Alright, not that great. So, game one, he's got Duo, Necro Valley, Knock, Blade Knight, Saku, and Gravekeeper Spear Soldier. So he fires a Duo on me right away. And he hits my Solemn. And I decided to throw a knockout, which was a good decision because he's on this warrior shit. So he summons Blade Knight and sets Saku. I draw into Jar of Greed. I throw the Thunder Dragons out here and grab 2 more. And I decide to set Knock and set Jar and pass. He draws into Graceful, so now he's got Duo and Graceful. So awesome sauce. Like, this is wonderful. I'm thinking in my head, this shit's over with. There's no way I can win. He draws into Gravekeeper's Assailant, Kaiku, and Solemn Judgment. So let's see what he decides to discard here. He discards the Spear Soldier and the Knight Assailant. And the Gravekeeper Assailant. And he hits me for another 16. And I just take it. And he sets Solemn and passes. I draw into Heavy Storm here. This guy says I got lucky, but this was not luck. This was straight skill. This game was. There was nothing lucky about this. He just duoed and gracefuled me. If that ain't luck, what is? So I set Heavy and set Jar and pass. He draws into a Gravekeeper Spy. So he decides to keep the ball rolling, hit me for another 16. I take it again. Okay, I'm at 48. And I draw into a Wing Blast now. And decide to fire the Jar of Greed. And I draw into Graceful Charity. And I decide to fire the Heavy now because I figured he has Solemn. So I don't want this Graceful to get Solemned here. So I just fire the Heavy right away. And it worked. Because I got his Solemn. I fire the Graceful into Tsukiyomi, Deco, and Solemn. And I decide to discard both Thunder Dragons. And I run the Tsukiyomi out and swing. Set Solemn and Wing Blast and pass. He draws into a Kaiku. He runs the Kaiku out and swings. I don't know why he didn't set the Spy because both of my knocks are gone. I think it's pretty safe to set the Spy there. But he decided to get the Kaiku out right now. And I take it. So now I'm at 3,000 only. And he sets Knock and passes. And I decide to Wing Blast him and target his back row and discard my Deco. I draw into Mirror Force. I decide to run Tsukiyomi out, put it face down, and swing. Set Mirror Force and pass. He draws into a Knock. He runs the Kaiku out and hits me, and I decide to Mirror Force it because I don't want to take no more damage. And then he decides to set Knock and fire Necro Valley, and I decide just to Solemn the Necro Valley because I got the Chaos Orc in hand, and I'm not playing with the shit. So I draw into Sinister Serpent. I decide to drop the Chaos Sork right now. And fuck it, you got ring, you're the best. So I hit him for 23 and decide to set Serpent and pass. He draws into a Book of Moon. He fires a knock on my Serpent, which is fine. He sets Book of Moon and sets Spy and passes. I draw into a Spy, so I decide just to go into battle phase and attack, and it's a Spy. He gets another Spy, and I set Spy and pass. He draws into Mystic Swordsman level 2. Okay, so he instantly crashes here. Now this was a misplay on his part because all he had to do was just literally Book of Moon. He decides to book the Gravekeeper Spy here, knowing that I have Tsukiyomi, so I'm just gonna flip it down, flip it back up, swing over to level 2, and the shit's a wrap. I mean, I guess he could have, I don't know what he could have done differently, but that was definitely not the best play. I would have definitely just went for the Sork right away with the book, and I had level 2, but that's me. So I hit over everything, get my Tsukiyomi back, and say go. He draws into Mirror Force. I decide to end phase, put the Mirror Force back. I draw into Solemn Judgment, which is great. Set Solemn and pass. He sets his Mirror Force that I put back on top. And I decide to swing for 23, and he Mirror Forces, and now I decide to Solemn that because if he draws ring now, it will be a tie at least. I set Deco and pass. He draws into Necro Valley, and he's only at 22, and that is game 1. So, okay. Pretty good. I don't think I put the Mind Crushers in or the Trap Dust Shoes this game because he's going first. So, alright, game 2. He opens Pot of Greed. Okay, cool. He's got Necro Valley, Solemn, Ring, Kaiku, Tribe, MST, and Spy. So, he decides to set the Spy, set MST, and set Solemn, and pass. I've got Tsukiyomi, Duo, Breaker, Thunder Dragon, Mind Control, and that's it, I think. I called all my hand out. So I duo him. He decides to not Solemn the Duo, which is fine. I pick 1. I get his Necro Valley, and he throws out Kaiku. I run the Breaker out. He rings it. Okay, and I try to Mind Control, and he decides to Solemn Judgment it, which he could have saved this because he had the Tribe anyways, but it's fine. And he had a Saku, don't he? No, he's got MST. Okay, so I guess it was fine. Solemn that Mind Control. So he doesn't have the Tribe. That was a pretty good play, I guess. He draws in the Book of Moon. He flips his Spy. Gets a Spear Soldier. Hits me for 17. And sets Book of Moon. There's really nothing I can do this game. I got the dirt. I draw into Deco. I decide to run Tsukiyomi out, put it face down, and try to attack. And he takes it, and then he Book of Moons, flips it up, and that is the game 2. So we're going to game 3. Game 3, I board in a lot of cards. I board in Mobius. I board in triple Trap Dust Shoot, double Mind Crush, Berserk Gorilla, Kaiku. Yeah, I put the whole lot of shit in here. So let's see how it works out. I've got Book, Snatch, Knock, Solemn, Wing Blast, and Trap Dust Shoot. He's got Book, Cross Out, Breaker, Ring, and Snatch Steal. So I decide to just set 5 and say good luck. This plays around Duo. It plays around Dust Shoot, which was clutch because he has the Dust Shoot, so that card's going to be dead the whole game. And now I know his whole hand, so I get his Breaker, put the Breaker back, and he decides to set Ring and set Book and pass. I draw into a Solemn, and I set it. He draws into a Saku, he sets it. I draw into Thunder Dragon. I decide to discard the Thunder Dragon here. And I know he has Dust Shoot, so I know he's just going to set it and put me back a turn. So I decide to just Wing Blast and discard the Thunder Dragon and put one of them back on top to set him back and set my Book of Moon and pass. He draws into Book of the Moon that I put back on top. I draw into Pot of Greed. I can't use it yet because I have my whole board locked. He draws into a Kaiku. He runs the Kaiku out. I say okay. He tries to attack. and I book a moon it right away, putting it face down. Now I draw into Mind Crush. I decide to knock right away the Kaiku just to get it out of here. And I set the Mind Crush, and then I pot a Greed, playing around his Dust Shoot. I draw into another Mind Crush, and I decide to run the Kaiku out. He says okay. I swing Bada Bada, he Sakus it, and I decide to Solemn Judgment it. And he doesn't use his Soul. Oh no, he doesn't have Solemn, okay. So he takes the 18. I set another Mind Crush and pass. And I fire the Mind Crush and call Snatch Steal. That's why this shit is broken as hell, because I just got a Snatch Steal. So now he's literally sitting with a whole bunch of bullshit that ain't doing nothing. And I get to see his hand as well. That is the ruling. So he sets Book of Moon and passes. I draw into a Spy. I know he has Knock and Dust Shoot. I hit him for 18. He books it. He says, start a battle phase. So instead of attacking, I'm like, okay, so I can just flip it back up here. Fuck it. I flip it back up, set Spy and pass. I decide to Mind Crush and call Knock. He duos my last card, which is a Thunder Dragon. Okay, cool. He sets his Dust Shoot and passes. I draw into a duo, which is dead. I flip up my Spy and get the Spy in attack mode, because I know he doesn't have Mirror Force. I know his entire hand now and everything he's got, so I swing Bada Bada Bada, and he's forced to ring the Kaiku, putting him at 1,000 only. And I decide to just pass. He draws into a Spy, which is a pretty good draw for him, because everything else would have he would have lost, because I have Snatch Steal. I top deck Mobius, which is a great draw. I tribute and target is both of his back rows. He Book of Moons it. I say okay. I switch to Spy to defense and pass. He draws into a Rhoda. I say okay, that's fine. He Rhodas into Exiled. He tries to Exiled, but I have Solemn Judgment. I'm going to keep this much card around, because I know it's Spy, because he already booked it. So I draw into a Mirror Force, which is great. Well, I don't know it's Spy yet, but I'm pretty sure it's Spy. So I switch the Gravekeeper Spy to attack mode, and I swing at the Spy. And he gets another Spy. I set Mirror Force and set Duo and pass. He draws into Necro Valley. He fires a Necro Valley. And he says go, and I have the Snatch Steal that I've been sitting on the whole time. And he says, lucky man. Yeah, that was luck. It wasn't me outplaying you with Mind Crush and playing around your Trap Dust Shoot and doing everything I could do. I got one pot of Greed. You drew, well, you didn't draw that good that game, but still, it was still a really crazy game. I got him, so here's what it is. I'm doing really good on the ladder right now. I've got all these wins. I'm so lucky. It's nothing to do with the way I'm playing. It's just all luck. Straight luck while I'm in second right now with 719. Within 3 days, I've gotten 719 rating. Straight luck. No skill at all. So, that being said, y'all hit the like, hit the sub. Have a good day or night. I might play one more match, and then I'm probably going to go to bed. It's 3:16 a.m. here. But, yeah. What do y'all think about that match? What do you think about Mind Crush with the Dust Shoot? I feel like if you open Dust Shoot and Mind Crush, it is pretty much over, because, like, you can just Trap Dust Shoot, take their monster, and then with Mind Crush, you just call their Pot of Greed, their Grace, or their Duo, or their Snatch, like I did, or their Knock, like their best card in their hand, you just take. But you got to be careful with it, because you can't use it if you don't have a card in your hand. People think that you can use Mind Crush without a card in your hand. You have to have a card in your hand, because if you do call it wrong, you have to discard a card. So that being said, that is like a requirement of playing the card. So if anybody wants to jump on the Mind Crush tech, because I don't see a lot of people really playing it, so just keep that in mind. You have to have at least one card in your hand to use Mind Crush. But y'all hit the like, hit the sub. Have a good day or night. Peace out. Bye.